What is going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka It's Tired Story here, back with another Phantom Parade news video. And I get off work pretty late today, and the first thing I see is SSR Red Gakuganji on my Twitter feed and in my Discord server and a couple other Discord servers. Some people may have already been aware of this unit's existence a fair bit beforehand. I am one of those people in question, but this is a pick. All right, we're in that era of Phantom Parade where like they aren't doing culling games and like they gotta like fill in the gap. So they're kind of taking units that pre-existingly have SRs and giving them SSRs, which I'm okay with. I'll be honest with y'all, I'm all right with it. We're gonna look at the trailer. We're gonna give like a mini analysis. Y'all know how these things go. Let's take a gander. Really cool art though. So first things first, hold on. Rewind. Y'all know what it is. So off rip, stat debuffing, curse energy increase, 15 CE, 25 CE. I mean 25 CE is no surprise for a Gakuganji unit, considering the only Gakuganji unit in the game is on a relatively similar side. The main thing that I do enjoy though is that a lot of, if not, I'm pretty sure all support units that have dropped, I mean, not counting Season 3 Yuji, of course, because he's like a combat support hybrid, have a way to recover their own cursed energy during combat. Momo has a skill 1 that recovers CE, Yaga has a skill 1 that recovers CE, Urame, after building up their passive, has a way to build up CE with a skill 1. I mean, even if you want to go even further back, I mean, Kusakabe as well. So this is just kind of a mechanic I kind of almost expect modern modern debuffers and buffers to have in the future. It's just kind of the new standard, you know? Oh yeah, that's that Gakuganji skill 3 right there. So from the looks of it, just off rip, that's Jujutsu stat buffing right there. So not doing both in one go, just a single typing. Now, it is kind of interesting, but also kind of fitting because obviously the previous unit, SSR Ichiji, also did Jujutsu stat buffing, like in isolation, not just Jujutsu and Taijutsu, but Jujutsu in specific. And it also has a +3 to the tuning count, since Gakuganji does have his own passive. It doesn't show it right here. Well, we'll see if it shows in the next clip. But this is skill 3, so it's an AoE skill 3. I mean, it looks pretty cool. So that's Jujutsu and Taijutsu as well. So, actually, okay, yeah, so it doesn't overlap. Okay. So it's a 4-turn debuff, which is cool, right? As long as you can build up the curse energy to keep it up. The only thing that I find a little bit interesting is that when you have a stat debuffer in the scenario, you're directly competing with Rabbit Escape Megami. Well, we'll get into that after the rest of the clip plays. Now this ultimate, okay, so we have the tuning count passive just chilling right there. None of the skills have changed. The passive has moved, so I'm gonna assume it's like maybe the information gathering passive, where there's just like perma buffs that occur. Very cool. Gaku, very nice. Okay, so it has the alt count drain. You could just see it pop up right there. So it has alt count drain, and from the looks of it, it also has stat debuffing attached to the ultimate as well. So stat debuffing. It also has, from the looks of it, it lowers the enemy's Jujutsu stat, so the enemies aren't hitting as hard. I've also read, what is it? Because there's also like the kit that has been like, I wouldn't say leaked, but has been released. And it does still apply a 4-turn debuff for Taijutsu and Jujutsu. It also has a chance to stop enemies, which I don't mind. I do enjoy the stop mechanic when units do have them. But I'm also interested in that reduces all enemies' ultimate count, because I mean, I don't think we can really tell by how much it is. Yeah, because they kind of just get wiped out of reality anyway. So, I mean, it's cool. It's very nice. I mean, I can't exactly translate it off rip right here, but if it's like 1, I mean, it's cool. But it also depends, like, how big is his alt gauge? Are we able to tell? Actually, wait, no, hold on. That's actually that's a pretty reasonable alt gauge size. That's actually the same alt gauge size as the new Greenonymous, which isn't too bad. Here's the thing, though. So with this current Gakuganji, right, you got to compete with this guy. So a lot of people have been a little bit worried if Gaku would end up like power cliffing Megami. And now, mind you, that entirely depends on Gaku's like percentages on his skills, and also what the tuning passive even does in the first place overall for his kit. Because, I mean, we have Gakuganji, you know, we have the guy right here, and he does do. I mean, obviously at skill level 10, it's like 150% for 4 turns, right? Megami has, as it currently stands, he has 150% in 3 turns. Obviously, it's an SR unit versus an SSR, so we don't know at the moment what Red Gakuganji really looks like. But I'm not too concerned for the idea of Gakuganji in quotation marks power cliffing Megami. Because, okay, first things first, there's no new content in the game that's like heavily demanding, like, oh my goodness, we need a new unit. Now, will future limited tower floors may come into the conversation where like we may need an AoE stat debuffer like Gakuganji, or, you know, like obviously we've had this recent limited tower floor for Red where everybody was like, if you don't have Gojo, it's over. But then they added Kenjaku, and now there's a ton of clears where it's Kenjaku main DPS, you don't need Gojo to clear. I can imagine, like, this Gakuganji is going to drop in the future on Global, and we're going to get a ridiculously annoying red tower floor that's going to be like, okay, if you don't have Gakuganji, it's going to be a miserable time somehow. But even on that, just in terms of general content, it's hard to really discuss any of the new units in the game when there's no new difficult content. I mean, even the new Formidable Foes event, not event, I keep calling it an event, but it's new base game content. Even that, which is out currently on JP, I'm watching people steamroll it in like 10 turns, outside of the smallpox deity fight, but that's like obviously the hardest fight in the entire little shebang there. And even then, people are already beating it with pre-existing units that are in the game. So it's hard to really discuss, like, all right, is Gakuganji gonna hardcore power cliff Megami? Because even if he did, right, what does it really matter? Because there's no new content overall to really dive into, to really be like, to compare them outside of like, okay, is Gakuganji gonna make him make the red team clear sweep faster, or is Gakuganji gonna make people clear floor 86 quicker? But even then, what does it matter? Because I mean, my core audience, a lot of y'all have already cleared this high-end difficult content for the game. Is it going to be helpful for newer players if they're randomly able to snag Gakuganji if he's really that cracked? Of course. But it's like the same situation with Ichichi, where it's like, it's cool, he fulfills a niche. What is the point at the moment if there's kind of nothing to do? Another thing that I also have just a little bit of concern for, which let's go like take a gander. I mean, I don't think this is going to be his full HP bar. Obviously, they don't show units at like their fullest capabilities, like at their max level. I'm also wondering like what the HP threshold would look on Gaku at A0, because A0 supports have like a horrendous reputation of being really, really like squishy. And some modern supports have just a option to defend themselves in some type of way. I mean, Momo has dodge, Yaga has the the cursed puppet to protect him from physical attacks. Even people like Kusakabe obviously has simple domain, and Megami. I mean, Megami's just a shining example of like being squishy doesn't matter at A0 because he has the Rapid Escape, which nullifies his damage being taken. So it works out really well if you already have Megami. And obviously, Megami's closer to reaching, the next Standard Banner update than Gaku because Gaku's a new unit, obviously. So it's really weird. And I don't think they're going to make this Gakuganji must summon unit because, again, what content would even exist in the first place that demands like another stat debuffer to this degree, right? Now, I could be wrong, obviously. It wouldn't be the first time I've been proven wrong on a new unit being more cracked than what, meets the eye. But what can I say? He has a lot of cool little gimmicks attached to him, but it's hard to say like, oh man, they look so cracked, they look so amazing off of the previews, because even then, like, unless they're making tower clears quicker or sweep clears quicker, it's a big to me. But I also see high value in limited tower floors in the future because I also believe an AoE debuffer would help a lot outside of just Gojo. Because obviously Gojo pops that unlimited void and everybody's getting hit by that. But in terms of red debuffers at the moment, I mean, the only AoE debuff we really have that you can kind of just spam out is like Red Momo skill 3, and that's not something that's very, I would say, like reliable. I mean, it's a low debuff, and I when I do the skill 3, it's mainly for break damage for the most part. But yeah, that's even if like Gakuganji is like a crazy multiplier, it would take a lot to be able to just say, okay, throw cubes at him. But that's just my general opinion for a lot of units that release nowadays, where it's like, what's the point? If like content is on such a slow release cycle, and difficult content is still like semi-relative, if not basically on the same level as like every other piece of difficult content. So why summon for, the new shiny toy when you can just go to all the old reliables that already exist in the game? I mean, I've already talked to plenty of people in my general audience about half anniversary. People are more excited about summoning for the previous anniversary units than they are the current half annie reruns. So sums at Billy Toho, they're not exactly doing a fantastic job of wanting people to just whip out the bank account on these new random units. I mean, even on the new half anniversary units, they aren't even really doing a stellar job of wanting people's, attention, I guess you could say. Because, like, look at this. How many people in the comments are skipping half anniversary for Mahiko? I know it's more than you may think, just straight up. So, my general thoughts on Mr. Gakuganji, just like my general thoughts on every unit in the game. Very cool, very nice, but what's the point at the end of the day? That's kind of been my general emotion to a lot of the things going on in Phantom Parade. What's the point? Because there isn't really a lot. But then again, this isn't me being a doomer. It's just, I guess you could say, whenever you're playing a gacha game, right? At some point, there's gonna be like a slowdown period. Not everything is gonna be super hype. Not every unit is going to be like the craziest thing to ever drop. And we're kind of in that period for Phantom Parade where we're kind of releasing, I guess you could say, some experimental type units or units that fulfill certain niches. And I'm just mainly interested in the fact that Gakuganji does have like a 15 CE Jujutsu stat debuff in specific that also boosts his tuning passive, but his skill 3, from the looks of it, doesn't boost his tuning passive and it just has general stat debuffs. So I'm very interested in what the actual general game plan for this unit is going to be. I can imagine that he will work really, really, really well with Kenjaku. That is my hope. That is my hope that he works phenomenally with Kenjaku and Mahito. So, if you want to take away anything from this little ramble, a lot of people are worried, oh my gosh, is Megami going to get power cliffed? I mean, Megami has been out for 10 months on JP, which is also kind of a reason why a lot of global players are pretty worried, is because it feels like we got Megami like not too long ago, which, mind you, we haven't had Megami for that long in the first place. I mean, mind you, we summoned for Megami on this channel. This channel hasn't even been around that long. So take that into consideration. For the global player base, Megami hasn't been around for that long, but JP has had oh my goodness, I'm all over the place. JP has had Megami for 10 months. However, do I think like just because Megami's been out for 10 months, it justifies him potentially getting power clip? Nah, because there's still plenty of units that have been out for years that are still really, really, really strong in their own right. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Hidden Inventory Trio. One day. That's all. One day, they will have their day. Well, I mean, Ghetto's kind of already had his day. But that's really it for the Gakuganji stuff. Okay. And to close out on some global shenanigans. So, Global's in this very weird spot, in my opinion, where it's like, are we going to get Anniversary on the 24th? Or are we going to get it on the 31st? Now, again, I'm still going by my original idea that like Anniversary is going to start on the 24th, and then like we'll get like the Gojo release on the Tuesday after. But the only thing that's throwing like a big monkey wrench into that is the date at which Kenjaku's banner ends. Like I think like Kenjaku's banner still has like 8 days or something. So I'm hoping there's no dead week, because that would be like a huge killer. But it also wouldn't be the first time that these devs have thrown a dead week either during a celebration or right before a celebration. It doesn't really matter. We're not foreign to dead weeks, but we've already had plenty of like, I guess you could say, anniversary build-up talk, all based around the 24th, like the 24th. Now, mind you, the 24th could just be for all these merchandise shops and the friend invitation event. It could just be all for that. Like, that's the content. The merchandise shop and the friend invitation event, that's the content. And then we'll get Anniversary on the 31st. But I'm hoping that is not the case. Where we can all maybe celebrate Anniversary together. It is what it... Whoa, this page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. Wait a minute. Hello? Oh, wait a minute. They took it down in the middle of this video. They took down the announcement. Well, you seen it here, folks. It's over. It is so over. Take back everything I just said. Scratch that. I'm so glad I... Wow. Well, guys, no celebration. It's over. All right. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord server. It's in the channel bio. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers, so make sure to help your boy out. It's been Jay, aka the Global Twitter Dev Suck Story, and I will see you guys later.